this is Lucy and welcome to a Fallout 76 Building 101 episode. A few weeks ago I made an English country cottage, and it was around the same time that I got Catherine Swan on the scoreboard, who was terribly English, so I kind of made the house for her. It fit with her personality and her background. So it gave me the idea to make some other camps for other companions. So if you haven't guessed already, today's companion camp is for Maul, the supermutant. It is a scrappy build. I know that they are not something that I build very often, but occasionally I do feel the need to do it. So I will give you a quick tour. I don't have a huge amount of scrappy stuff, so I've done the best I can with what I have. These barriers came from Maul minor plan. The meat bags came from a plan from Daily Op. If you haven't got Maul out before, he is a super mutant, and obviously, and his big thing is he is obsessed with Grognak. He wants to kill Grognak because he thinks that Grognak is the pinnacle of human evolution, and he wants to prove that super mutants are better. He can read and write because he reads comic books, and if you speak to him, you can trade with him. Well, you can buy things off him, and the things you can buy off him are meat and comic books. So, unfortunately, you can't sell things to him, but I suppose that would give players an advantage. He is quite funny. He is not particularly invasive and annoying as some companions are. But for me, all he will do in this camp is sit on his little plinth and use the chemistry workbench. He doesn't actually use any of the other workbenches for some reason. So the camp is basically a shrine to his interest in meat. So obviously we have lots of cooking stations, and we have a fridge, although obviously he prefers to put his meat in his meat bags. I tried to make the shack look pretty beat up. We have Unstoppables posters and lots of sort of heads and things. Because he uses the chemistry workbench so much, I did make him a little sort of lab here. I have no idea what he's experimenting on. A friend of mine actually said he looks like a little old man with those glasses on, and yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I tried to make a super mutant bed using tyres and sleeping bags. I did experiment with a friend trying to create a frame using conduits, pushing the vertical ones through the floor using a mat trick, but it gets quite complicated quite quickly, and I thought that it was too complicated for a half-hour Building 101 video. But if you want to experiment with that, by all means feel free. I have the Super Mutant plushies. This one was from either a Holiday Scorched or Maul minor plan, possibly Maul minor plan, and I think this one came from the Atom store, along with my fetching outfit. I have put the shelter here in the cabin, so if you want to extend your camp you can, but I haven't actually got anything in that shelter at the moment. There are a few things around the back. I thought they were not immersive enough to include them in the front of the camp, but obviously things you need. The Tinker's workbench and the punch card machine and a scrap box because I have Fallout First. There is a wood resource here. You can put a resource machine on it if you want, but obviously there is a power requirement for that. I do have generators in this camp, but obviously they're hidden. If you want to know where we are right opposite Alpine River Cabins. I did actually cover this location in one of Nora's videos when she was showing building plots in the forest. Although I haven't actually built here, it's been a location that I've had in mind for a while, because for me it looks like a place that you would find a building. So I think that covers everything. I will now show you how to build it. So I've moved my camp widget and the area is clear. This is what it looks like before you build. And we're going to start by building the shack. Obviously, now that Maul has been put away, we'll be attacked by ghouls whilst in build mode and storing things. Luckily, I didn't die this time. I have actually turned the voice setting down on the audio so that the screaming from Alpine River Cabins doesn't drown me out. We're going to start with 4 floors. I think I was a little bit further over this way last time. I can still hear it though. To get the shelter in, pretty much once you have 3 of these in, just place your shelter like this. And you should be able to snap a foundation over the top. Could be a little bit lower, but you get the gist. Let's try. Oh, I'm so anal. That'll do. You can actually put it right underneath and hide it, but still access it. For the walls, I used a mixture of brick and the warehouse set. I put some half walls with windows up here. For this section with the broken down brick, I put half brick walls in. I then used a flamer trap. To destroy the brick walls, and I didn't repair them. I mean, the trouble with doing this is you will always get some smart Alec come along and, yeah, I was going to say something ruder then. Somebody who will come along and repair your camp. For this section, what I did was I got one of those defensive walls. I used this one, but you could use a flatter one. Might actually help decorate if you did. I placed it in so that it was in the position that I wanted. Doesn't look very straight. I flamer trapped it. Then I put a brick wall over the top. With a triangular piece on top. I can't remember if I used the barn, the warehouse or the brick for this, whichever you want. I then flamer trapped the bottom of the brick wall without repairing the defensive wall. And then I just repaired the junk fence. So you get this kind of effect with a broken down wall that looks like it's been patched. We need triangular walls here and here. For the doorway, I used a warehouse doorway and I flamer trapped it, and then I filled in with various bits and bobs. Actually, before I do that, we need a triangular piece on the top. I use this blueprint of a pillar with a mat to fill in this side. You could probably get 3 in here if you wanted. You then just delete the mats and the pillars will stay. And on this side I used these white picket fence. It can be tricky to get them exactly where you want them. Like that. And I used the window covers on the top. These were a bit tricky to get on. But they will go eventually. Oh, there we go. You can put the door on first if you want. This broken thing will actually accept a door. Well, it will accept certain doors, so what I did was I put this door on and then swapped it to the Flying Fortress door, like that. I used a stash box as a step. And then all we need to do is put the roofs on. I do actually wish that we had some sort of scrappy roofs, but we don't. All of the roofs are pristine pretty much. I mean, they look a bit tatty, but so I just use the base set. Be aware if you put any furniture under the low bit here that you may have to take the roofs off to get it on. So that's the shack pretty much complete. To build the outside cover area, I used these. You want to try and get it as high as possible. I lined it up next to the wood pile so you can get a little bit higher. These obviously snap together. Put a doorway on, and then a doorway. Then you can remove these and have the doorways floating. You can simply put a roof on. If you can find the flat roofs. You can use the rug and pillar blueprint. I had a bit of problem lining it up, although it's working today. If you don't want to do this, if you want it to look like it's completely attached, what I actually did, and this was why I had to do it a couple of times, needed to make sure that this was high enough. And we'll see if it works. If you've got it high enough, you can snap a floor on here, put a ladder up, some floors, and snap the pillars onto the corners. It is not going to work today. Of course it won't. I'm recording. The trouble is, whenever you rebuild something, it is never exactly the same, partly because it's never in exactly the same place. So we will use this. All you do is, if you haven't seen this, is snap a pillar to a foundation, add another pillar on top, place a mat very close, just slide it underneath and blueprint these three items. And what that means is, I can't really see, hang on. What it means is that you can place, I was going to put this in my blueprinting video, and for some reason it would not work on that day. Is that actually touching? Yes, it is. Then just delete the mat. And I can't delete that mat because it's underneath the ground. Just change these to whatever you want. I used the windows, I made that one a plain wall. and then I just put again those. If you can't get them on the inside, put them on the outside. I think the only thing I have left to show you is how I put the cooking pot underneath a fire barrel. As you can see, this will not go on top of here. So what I did was I took a stash box. I actually saw this on a Mr. Church video, so all credit due to him on this one. Put your camp budget there. Get your thingy on here, which will resist. It will resist. It will eventually go green. There we go. Sort of the wrong way around, but that's fine. Now, when you take this away, it will stay floating. You need to flame trap it. If you can. Might be a bit high. You'll probably, if you're me, end up destroying half your camp doing this, but it does take quite a bit of flamer trapping. And then hopefully you should just be able to slide this underneath. Does mean you can't move it once it's in position. So make sure it's where you want it to be. It might take a bit of experimentation. Repair your cooking pot, and there you have your cooking pot on a fire barrel. Oh, me and words sometimes, I tell you. Right, one of the many, many gifts of fibromyalgia. Then just decorate with fences and things however you want around the edges. I mean, these were just placed. I placed different fences around. And yeah. They don't really offer much defense. I don't have a turret here. Maul is actually pretty good at seeing off the enemies, which was kind of why it was ironic that I got attacked in the minute I put him away. So I do like these. These are great. And yes, I pretty much had to grind out lots of mole miners. And don't tell Nora, please. I had to grind out lots of mole miners and spend all my caps on at least 3 characters and a friend's caps to get pretty much all but the rug. I did not get the West Virginia rug. If anyone wants to donate one to my channel, please feel free. So there you have it, I think. Obviously the rest is just purely decorative. Decorate however you want. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this camp. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching.